Okay, you guys, good morning. Brenda Hillard here from createwithbrenda.com. It's time for another episode of Coffee and Create with Brenda, so welcome. I hope your Saturday morning is awesome. Mine has been very good so far. Um, but it's early, gotta get your coffee. And then once you have your coffee, we're all good to go. Today I have some a really fun project for us using fun products from the celebration brochure. One thing I want to tell you is that um, there is just 9 days left for celebration. So if there's something out there that you've been thinking about, or there's something in that celebration brochure that you would like, now is the time to place your order. I'm going to quickly flash up here my February host code, and you'll see it. Let's see, I can never figure out where to point. Right up here. So please use my host code if your order is under $150. That way, it allows me to purchase prizes and giveaways for the following month. So there we have it. There's the host code. You can always find it on my website too at createwithbrenda.com. So let's get to business, okay? I'm going to flip you down to my workstation, and I have something really cute to show you. Okay, just needed to change the volume. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Kathy. Look at these, you guys. Aren't they the cutest? Can you see them? I'm going to turn my backlight on and see if that helps, because I feel like my camera might be a little bit dark, but check it out. Aren't they adorable? So is what it is they're the Dove chocolates that I've turned into little ladybugs. Fun, right? Right? Okay. So here we go. I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. I have a scrap of black and I have a scrap of polished pink. So is what I'm going to do is take the ladybug punch, and I'm just going to punch out a body of basic black. So there we have that. And then I'm going to punch a little set of wings. And I don't know about you, but I found that it was easier to stamp the wings once they were punched. So I'm going to ink this up using my Memento Black ink. And I'm just going to stamp the little black dots on the wings. I'm going to zoom just a little bit so you can see better. All right. So then all you have to do is take your Dove chocolate, and I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal and put some adhesive down on I guess the body works better than the candy itself, but I'm going to glue that right onto the body here. And then I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal to the wings. I'm going to bend those just a little bit, and then I'm going to put those right up top by that little curve in the heart. And look at little fun party favors. Aren't those just the best? I love them. Love, love, love them. So that's my quick to do. And this ladybug punch and stamp set combo are in the January to June mini catalog. So check those out there, okay? All right. Let's see. I know, Kathy, I love them too. I just can't get enough of them. And I just think it would be fun to do like a little dinner party or something and just have a little ladybug, or maybe a like a little ladies lunch or something. Maybe I'll do that. Awesome. Okay. So, today's project is a little bit involved, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Um, I originally saw this um, fun fold slider card on, good morning, Donna, on a gal that I follow on Facebook. And so her name is Dawn, and I just want to give a shout out to her because this fun fold is really, really fun. It's a little bit involved, but after you make one, you'll be good to go. All right. So is what our card looks like today is I used the Awesome Otters stamp set from the Celebration brochure. And there's lots of fussy cutting, die cutting, whatever. But we don't always have to be in a really big hurry for quick and easy cards, right? Sometimes there's those special people that you really want to make something special for. And this is one of those cards, or I think it is. Let's see what you think. All right. So when you open the card, boom, your little sentiment slides out. Do you love it? I thought it was super fun, just like that. All right, so let's get busy. I'll show you what you need. Oh, and of course, I had the matching envelope, right? All right. All right, so here we go. For this project, you actually need to use 12 by 12 cardstock. And because this piece measures 5 1/4 by 11 1/4, and is what I'm going to do is I'm going to score that at 4 inches and 8 inches. And we'll do that here in just a minute after we get through our pieces. You're going to need a piece of regular basic white cardstock that measures 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. And I'm going to score that at 3 3/8. I have a piece of basic white that measures 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. And then I have a 1/2 inch scrap of basic white, just a scrap. You know how you always have to trim that little edge off and you end up with that piece. And then I have a scrap piece of white that I stamped the birthday hat on in Magenta Madness. And another scrap that I stamped the otter. And for the otter, I used the Memento Tuxedo Black because I'm going to be coloring this with the alcohol markers. And in order for the ink not to bleed, good morning, Karen. In order for the ink not to bleed with the alcohol markers, you need to use the Tuxedo Black, okay? So, and I fussy cut him out because I'm gonna I'm gonna make you watch me color him, but I will not make you watch me fussy cut him out. Okay. So then I have 2 pieces of designer series paper. This one measures 3 inches by 5 inches. This one measures 2 3/4 by 5. I have a strip of coordinating designer series paper, and this measures 1 inch by 5 inches. I have another piece. Oh, my little tag fell off, but that's okay. I have another piece that measures 1 1/4 inches by 5. All right. So, and then I have a scrap also of the Magenta Madness. Okay. Pieces, pieces, pieces. I'm going to move my adorable little ladybugs so I don't squash them when I bring in my trimmer. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to take our 5¼ by 11¼ inch piece, and we are going to score this at 4 inches and 8 inches. So I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored tool here. And with the 11¼ inch strip, I'm going to take down my, oopsie, sorry. I don't mean to be moving all over the place, but I'm going to take this down so you can see. There we go. All right. So I'm going to put the 11¼ inch edge up to the top of my Simply Scored. And I'm going to take my scoring tool and I'm going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches. Okay. I'm going to leave that just like that for now. I'm going to take my 5¼ by 6¾ inch piece, and I'm going to score that at 3 3/8 inches. So if we think about it, 3 3/8 is just under a half, right? So it's that 1/8 inch mark. Here's 3½. And this board goes in 1/8 inch increments. So I'm just going to go right into that next piece there, and I'm going to score this at 3 3/8. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing Nancy is saying that maybe the internet seems to be unresponsive. Is anybody else having trouble? Because I'm not seeing that on my end, but that doesn't mean not me. Okay, so now is what we're going to do. And you guys, this part is going to seem really odd. I'm going to bring in my scoring tool or my bone folder, and I'm going to fold this in. And you're going to see that you have a gap here. And then I'm going to fold this over. And this is going to be our card base. Okay, so like this. Okay. Then I'm going to fold this piece. No, I'm not yet. Okay, I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And it's what I want to do. And I'm going to zoom in for this so that you can see the tick marks on my trimmer. I'm going to put this edge at 5/8. So just 1/8 of an inch past the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm lining that up here on the right side of my trimmer. Okay. Okay, Kathy, good to know. I'm going to drop this down. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah, like this. Sorry, guys. So is what I want is the 5¼ inch edge is going to go up here at the top of my trimmer. Then I'm going to put it on the 5/8 inch mark right here. And I'm going to move my scoring tool to the 5 inch mark here. I'll show you this. I'm going to drop it down. On your trimming tool, you will see that there's a little line here. So I'm going to drop it down and I'm just going to cut. Okay. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put this edge now at 5/8. And, oops, kidding. So here's the flap. I'm going to put this at 5/8 of an inch. Again, I'm going to put this at the 5-inch mark out here with the line. And I'm going to drop it down and cut. Oops. I think I was beyond 5/8. Let's see what happens here. Yes, sirree, I was. I was afraid I was going to do this. All right, you guys, this is how it goes in real time. So I just happen to have another piece of paper that measures 5 1/4. Let me get it here. Sorry. But see, it doesn't always happen perfect every single time. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this. Remember, this is, oh, hold on. Now I've got lipstick on my paper. All right. 6 1/4 by 5 1/4. You want. All right. I'm back. It's all good. I'm going to score this again at 3 3/8. I'm going to do it right this time too. Okay. So now I'm going to put this at the 5/8 inch. There we go. And now I can put this, wait, I want my cutting tool at 5, drop it down, and cut. Then I'm going to scoot this over, and I'm going to measure 5/8 here. Again, putting this at the 5-inch mark on my trimmer, and I'm going to cut. Okay, we did it. So now we have just these 2 flaps, okay? But I'm going to cut those off, and you can do it with a scissor, or you can put this at the 1 3/4, and then I can just cut down like that. And I probably made you seasick flipping this thing around. And then I can just cut up to the cut line. Okay. So there we have it. Now we have this piece that looks like this. All right. So let's get this trimmer out of the way. And what I want to do is, what's going to happen is this is going to fit inside of our card like this. And this is going to be our slider piece back and forth. So what I want to do right now is on this inside flap, I'm going to take my 3 by 5-inch piece of designer series paper, and I'm just going to adhere that right here on our card. Okay, so it's going to fit like that. Now, I need to zoom back out so that you can see what's going on here. So this is going to fit together like this. This score line and this score line are not going to match up. You've done nothing wrong, okay? So what I want to do, I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to add my stamp and seal right along this edge. I'm going to match that up to my card front here. So here's my inside flap, here's my outside, okay? I'm going to take this and I'm just going to match up my edges like that. And so this is what I was talking about. When I pulled this over, do you see how this score line and this score line do not match up? You have that gap, but that's okay. That's how we want it. So then I'm going to bring this up on top and I'm going to lay it over this piece of designer series paper. And I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to do a very light tracing right around the outside of this on this flap on my DSP. And the reason I did this is because this is how we're going to decide where to cut our window for our sentiment to show through, okay? So using the rectangular stitched dies, I'm using not the smallest, but the next one, and then you'll need the next size up too. So grab both of those if you have the rectangle dies. Now remember, you can do this with circles, you can do it with whatever oval punch, you can do it with whatever you want. But just make sure that you outline your flap so that you're sure of where to place your dies. So is what I'm going to do is using the smallest rectangle, I'm just going to center that in my pencil marks like that. And I'm going to use some, they call it wall safe tape. It's just a low adhesive tape. So I'm going to center this in there and then I'm going to tape it down so that it doesn't move because I don't want that to happen. And I'm going to open this all up and I don't want this flap in there. I just want my card base and the piece with the designer series paper. Okay. All right. Bring in my die cutting machine. And I'm very right-handed, so I have to have it go this way. And we'll get my cutting plates in here. And now remember, you want just that single flap. And I'm going to just run this through my machine. All right. So there we have our window. All right. Excellent. And while I have my die cutting machine here, I'm going to do one more thing. So when you put like two of these dies together, you can actually cut a frame. So I'm going to bring in my scrap of Magenta Madness. And I'm going to, first of all, I'll tape down my smallest rectangle. Then I'm going to center this over and I'm just going to tape those down so that again, they don't move when I'm cutting because I would like to have my frame be fairly symmetrical. I guess I'm off camera. You can't even see what I'm doing. So I taped down the small rectangle and I'm going to center these and tape so that it stays in position. And now I'm just going to die cut these as well. All right. There we go. All right. I'm going to move this out of the way. No, I'm not. I have one more piece to die cut. Sorry. All right, but let me at least show you what this does. I love that. I love this about the rectangular stitch dies. So I'm going to push this out. And now I get this adorable little stitched frame. Isn't that fun? It really, wait till you see it. It really adds a lot to the card too. Okay, so you're actually going to need 2 of these if you're going to do it exactly like I am with the Awesome Otters. But I did that other one earlier, so we can move on from that, okay? The only other die cutting we have is I'm going to take that piece. This is that 1 3 or 1 1/4 by 5. And I'm going to cut this edge right here. This is a die cut edge. And using the Brilliant Rainbow dies, I'm going to place that right along the right edge of my piece of cardstock so that it forms a tab, and I'll show you that as soon as I get it cut here. Oops, I better use my tape. I've got some serious static here in my stamping studio, and things are moving around like crazy with these acrylic plates. All right. So I'm going to die cut this. All right. Look how nice that cuts out. No picking, no nothing. It's done. All right. So now we seriously are done with our die cutting machine. And let's go back to our card base here. I'm going to, remember I did that light outline of the flap with the pencil. I'm just going to erase that. Don't want that on my card. All right. So back to this. So is what I want to have happen now is on the inside piece here, I'm going to take one of our frames with the liquid glue. I'm just going to give it a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to lay that down right over the opening there that we did. So what's going to happen is when our card moves, that just kind of frames our sentiment. What do you think so far? Get thumbs up? Do I get hearts? Do I get angry faces? Do I get anything? Anyway, there we have it. That's that. Let's put the front of our card together. So our 2 3/4 by 5-inch piece of designer series paper. I'm going to add adhesive to the designer series paper. And I'm going to put that onto my die cut edge. So now I have this piece that looks like that. Isn't it adorable? I love this edge die. All right. I'm going to put that, whoops, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to bring in our striped strip 1 inch by 5. Add adhesive. And I'm just going to put that about 1/4 of an inch from the top and the sides and the bottom. Just kind of center it on my card like that. Okay. Add some more adhesive just to this die cut edge. And now I'm going to lay that down or center that right on here. And there it is. So that's the front with the edge. And then that's what we have so far. Okay. So let's go back now to the inside. And I want you to open this up. And is what we're going to do is I'm going to put just a little dot of Stampin' Seal on the top and the bottom to the left of the score line. And I'm just going to set this down and kind of press on there. And as all that's going to do is hold this in place so that when you open, this mechanism slides back and forth. Okay. And I'm going to open this up. And you want it all the way open because this is how that'll center this piece for your sentiment. Okay. So bringing in the basic gray. And the sentiment I'm going to use is "You are utterly awesome." Because remember, we're going to put that cute little otter on the front. I'm going to ink this up. And I'm just going to stamp my sentiment right in the center there. I love it. And then, because we're making this into a birthday card, I am going to take the birthday hat and using the Magenta Madness ink, I'm just going to put a little birthday hat in there. So now, when I open, I have this. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so now it's time to finish off our otter. So remember I told you you want to make 2 of the frames when you're cutting those. And you have this piece that measures 1 3/4 by 3 1/4. So again, is what we're going to do is take our liquid glue and I'm just going to make a little backdrop for our otter. So I'm going to glue the frame onto this piece, just like that. And I purposely did this because you will never get it exact every time. So I'm just going to trim this edge with my snips. And I'm just going to let the bottom edge of that frame be my guide, okay? So there we have it. Like that. And I had told you earlier, I had stamped the hat on a piece of scrap, and I had stamped the otter on a piece of scrap, and then I had just that 1/2-inch strip. Okay. So bringing our ink back in, the Magenta Madness, I'm going to ink up our sentiment that for the front that says it's birthday time, and I'm just going to center that on the 1/2-inch strip. We're going to trim this, so this can be any length, but 1/2-inch wide works well for this, okay? All right, so time to color our otter. Now, I am fully aware that otters are not pool party, but you know, for the sake of color coordination, we are going to color our little otter. And I'm using the light pool party. And so what I want to do is take my bullet tip end, because you get the paintbrush end and a bullet. And I'm just going to outline his little, for lack of better terms, his little belly patch. And I just did the outline. Then I'll take the brush tip and I will color and blend that out a little bit. And you'll see the look here and what I'm going for in just a minute. But I want the center of his belly to appear lighter, okay? And then I'm going to take the dark Pool Party and the paintbrush end, and I'm just going to color the rest of him. I want him to contrast here a little bit with the light and the dark. And I'm not doing a whole lot of shading here, so this isn't really like a lesson with alcohol markers. But the two things that I wanted you to see is that you can blend from the edge like that, and also to use the Memento Tuxedo Black ink when you're stamping so that the ink doesn't move with the alcohol. Our water-soluble pads like this are water-based dye ink. The ink will move when you put alcohol on, so that's why I'm telling you that. I'm going to take the light Pool Party, the bullet end, and I'm just going to quick like, because remember I told you that ink will move. I just want to quickly go around just to give our hat a little bit of color too. All right, so he's ready. We have to get his hat ready. Her hat, his hat, I don't care. Its hat, let's go with it. I'm just going to quickly cut this out. And remember when you fussy cut to move your paper, not your scissors. That helps you get a really nice smooth cutting edge and rounded corners, okay? So, oh, he's going to look so cute with that hat. And then with our banner here, I'm going to cut. I'm going to snip up the middle and then side to side to my cut line to get that little fishtail banner. And I'm going to do that same thing over here. Just cutting, snip and snip, okay? Now, what's a project without dimensionals when you're stamping with Brenda, right? All right, I know I have some new sheets of dimensionals, but where they are, who knows? It's been a busy week here in my stamping studio. Tomorrow is the spring retreat, 2022 spring retreat at the Dennis Drummond Wine Company here in Brainerd. Very excited for it. And if you have ever thought about going to a retreat and would like to join me, I will be hosting another retreat this fall. October 2nd is the tentative date, so mark your calendars. I'm going to take my cute little Pool Party otter. I'm going to put him right here on our frame. I'm going to give the hat a little, I'll do a mini glue dot on the hat, or a mini dimensional on the hat. We'll kind of tip that over. We'll cover up that one ear. I'm going to add some Stampin' Seal to the back of our banner. And I'm going to put that across so it looks like his little paws are holding it up. So there's our piece. And then I'm just going to add some Stampin' Seal on there. And put that on the front of our card. Who wouldn't love to get this birthday card? I know I would. Opening it up just like that. And remember, what's the slogan here at Create with Brenda? No naked envelopes, right? So I'm going to add some adhesive to the flap. And then I have this piece that measures 2 3/4 by 6. I'm just going to lay that on here, give it a press, and then using our flap as the outline, I can just go right along there with my snips and have that pretty matching flap on our envelope. So there is today's unfold card with the slider sentiment. Good morning, Sharon. I hope you love it. I hope you'll give it a try. I will go out. I don't know if I'll get there today or tomorrow, but I'll get this out on my blog at Create with Brenda. So createwithbrenda.com. So go there to check it out. I'll have the measurements and I'll post the video there as well, so that if you want to follow along, you can. All right, you guys, have a great Saturday. Don't forget, we just have 9 days left of celebration. So get your orders in. If your order's under $150, make sure to include my host code. I've got it posted again. Whoops, I'm moving the whole screen around. I've got it posted right up here so you can see it. All right. Have a great rest of your weekend. And until next Saturday, bye for now.